All right, welcome to another edition of Black in Sports. I got my man.
Miles Hayes.
And you know me, I'm EJ Cutliff, and we have a very special guest in the building. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Let them know who's here.
Hey everybody, my name is Ebere Arum. Shout out to all the Nigerians in the building, Igbo Kwenu, and shout out to Oakland, California as well.
Okay. Oh, whoa, not the shout out to the Bay already. Yo, she's coming in hot, and I'm loving it. Well, hey, without further ado, man, let's just kind of get into it, right? So, got some topics we want to jump into today. And I think the first topic we're going to just kind of jump into is just really talking about our homegirl Serena, man, right? Like, she's killing it on all aspects. I mean, she's been on the couple of covers. I don't have the cover on my screen because then I get distracted. But, no, real talk. I know. Don't act like y'all know what I'm talking about, boy. I wish I had a drop for ass. But
That's disrespectful, man.
That's not
somebody's wife, man.
That's somebody's mother too. So
Yeah,
I mean, we gonna stop. You know what I'm saying?
Golly.
Hey, we'll get into that. You know, maybe that's a well damn coach moment, but we'll get into that later. But all right. So Serena Williams, she took a L, at Wimbledon, and when she got to the speaking section, they were kind of doing the post game interviews. Really oddly, Billie Jean King, who's just kind of like supposed to be like really a staple for the women's movement, like was throwing shots.
Yeah.
So I mean, have you guys heard about that, or I mean, anybody got some initial comments on that?
Yeah, I definitely heard about it a little bit, that she was trying to basically tell her, I think we all know Serena's on what, I think if she gets to number 24, she'll be tied for like the all-time record, and then she gets to number 5, will be that kind of all-time title holder in the tennis world. I think of men and women's completely. So the perspective I heard that Billie Jean King was like, you instead of like promoting like equality and women's rights and all these other things, and you're a new mom, like you're juggling a lot, and you just really need to like focus on these games, and maybe you can finally tie the other old girls record and finally get to where you need to be. So
it was basically one of those shut up and dribble kind of things, right, that LeBron faced.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's crazy is like, why do people think they can come at us like that? Like, do you think that is a cultural thing? I mean, when you're talking about people kind of saying know your position, or do you think it's just really coming from a place of saying, how can you perfect your craft if you have too many things on your plate? You should focus on this, and this is how you become a champion.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit of both. For one, I think it's a little bit of a fear. I think us as a culture has probably been advanced in some ways athletically, but us as a culture now, Michael Jordan was and he did great things athletically, but he didn't really push the envelope in other ways socially. And I think our athletes today understand their platform even better than Michael Jordan in some aspects, and are not afraid to voice those opinions. And I think sometimes that might be a little bit of a fear, because we are accomplishing one thing.
Fear from who?
From the lighter skinned race. To be honest with you,
the lower melanin.
Correct.
Okay.
I think it's fear.
I'm thinking a little bit, because at one point in time I thought that Billie Jean King was a bit of like a mentor to Serena. And so I know even all of us, like, we feel like we're on the court with her. Like, we in there, or we're really like supporting her. So I almost feel like maybe it's coming from a place of, we really want you to hit that milestone, even though her legacy is solidified, at least to me, as one of the greatest athletes ever, no matter the sport. Maybe it's coming from like, Serena, we really want you to hit that milestone to all the way solidify your legacy. So maybe these other things are distracting. I think that's what Billie Jean King is coming at her from. I'm not saying that's right.
Is
no, it's 100%. It's 100%.
Yeah, I think Serena's the best athlete ever.
100%.
Yeah.
No matter
Men
what
or
she
women,
does.
Man,
sport,
women, no sport.
100%.
Yeah, 100% best athlete.
Change the game.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know
100%.
where Billie Jean King's coming from. I'm just giving her a little bit of grace. Like, maybe you just wanted to hurry up and hit that, like, if it's a numbers game, hit that numbers game, and then, then you can focus on these other things. But I think it goes back to, a lot with, like, the civil rights movement, where people are, sacrificing being able to compete in their athletic competitions because, they're using their prominence or their influence to talk about something that's bigger and more important than this game that's going on.
So, you think she can do it all?
She's already doing it.
And there's no damper that she's lost with the last two, right? Like majors.
No, nobody cares.
Someone cares because they made it and
Oh,
they put an
okay.
article about it. So I can't give you no one cares. You know what I mean?
You know, for sure. I mean, you know, people have their Monday morning deadlines that they need to get out. But there's nothing that's being subtracted from her career and from her legacy and what she's done to inspire people.
Not at all. I mean, that's 2 decades of dominance.
Yeah.
Like legitimate dominance of two decades.
I was
Can't be touched.
It's ridiculous. We had a little bit of a vacation break, and they were just playing old games from like, you know, late 90s, early 2000s because it was like Wimbledon season, and they're literally just playing like either Venus matches or like Serena matches, just playing them to be playing them in the middle of the day, and it was like, yeah, because you know we need to settle up, we need to realize how long her reign has been.
Yeah.
Well, Billy started backtracking though. She's like, "Well, I never asked her to stop fighting for equality." I was like, "Yeah, she did," because that question, there was no way that you could see anything other than that from that question.
Okay.
I mean, that's how I feel about it. So does she keep going until she knocks a record, or can she quit the game without hitting that record?
What you think, EJ?
I think she should just keep staying in front and keep doing those magazine covers.
Oh my God. Okay.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's a beautiful black woman out there shining, you know what I'm saying? I think she should just keep doing those covers. No, I think she needs to keep going, right? I mean, you have other athletes that are doing it until they're washed up, right?
Yeah.
And I think she can still compete on a high level because I really don't know who's coming after her, except what's the youngin that just came out?
Graf.
Oh, Coco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coco. Her game is like sort of
and your girl
Venus.
too. I mean, there's Coco Graf.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Oh, your girl.
Naomi.
Hold on. Who's your
My
girl?
Japanese
Naomi
girl.
Osaka.
Yeah.
Oh, that's who beat her, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Salone Stevens. And then I'm forgetting the last girl name that Salone had like whooped on. But, you know, as far as like black girls coming up in the game,
Who's the other one?
I'm blanking on her name, but Salone beat her for the U.S. Open like about a year or two ago.
Okay. So we got some movement then, some ranks coming up. But anybody feel bad about Serena's sister? Like, I mean,
Venus?
I mean, what's up with Venus, man?
I think it's equally as like solidified. Like even this girl that, you know, Venus took this most recent defeat to Coco.
I don't know about equal.
You know, numbers don't lie. You know, championships add up.
Not numbers don't lie, huh? Numbers don't lie, huh?
But like they were saying, oh my.
Okay, numbers don't lie.
But even from Serena's perspective, what I heard after that match was that Coco's game really modeled Venus's
exactly.
more than her own.
Like a young Venus.
Yeah.
All right, so on to the next topic. All right. So it was definitely in the news. Zion. Everybody's got Zion craze.
Yeah.
Yep.
Saw him in Summer League for his all-around exciting, one half of play?
Not even that, 10 minutes.
10 minutes is also what it was?
10 minutes.
Jeez.
But, we'll blame it on the earthquake, the Vegas earthquake, you know what I'm saying? So, and maybe the floor was shaking, and that's why his knee kind of started. No, okay.
He's a big boy. Could be shaking for another reason.
Right. But, so he had a big deal with Nike. So, Miles, tell us a little about the deal.
Yeah, so Zion Williamson signed the largest rookie annual contract with Team Jordan, 5 years, $75 million. So a big payday for him, and I think it's only right for Zion to join Team Jordan. You know, when you are aiming to be in those greats, that pantheon of greats of Michael Jordan, of LeBron James, I don't think you don't go to Puma or you don't go to the Adidas. You kind of got to go to Nike. So I think it was a good move for Zion on and off the court.
Okay, I'm gonna jump into something you said really quick. So you have to go to Nike. I mean, after what's happened with Steven, whatever. Ooh, names.
Steph Curry.
You gonna go with Steph?
Yeah, Steph.
So, but Steph Curry was never in that discussion with Mike Jordan and LeBron James when he was signing that deal.
So we're putting Zion in that era before he's
Zion, who we've watched college basketball last year for one reason and one reason only.
True.
And that's Zion Williamson.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay, so Steph Curry was never in that category. So if you're Zion Williams,
Okay.
you don't
Valid point.
you go with the
Valid
big boys.
point.
You go with Jordan. Now, back in the day, when Dr. J was the dude, right?
Okay. Converse.
Converse.
Good
Where
little
did Larry
all-star.
Bird and Magic Johnson go to? Who did they sign with?
Converse.
You don't play around with greatness. If you're that great, you go with greatness.
And Nike is greatness.
Because Michael Jordan made it great. So when Michael Jordan decided to go Nike, then he made that great, right?
So
Then LeBron James, you don't play with that. You go with that.
so then why was he the Jordan brand person?
Who?
Zion.
It's under the Jordan brand.
I was gonna ask, what's really the significance of what is that extra separation of being underneath Jordan than just signing with Nike outright?
Well, I think
Logo.
Okay.
100%. 100%.
The logo.
I think everything that Michael Jordan represents is what Zion is aiming to represent in the league, off the court and on the court. Jordan was a ridiculous athlete. And, when he first started, it was like, oh, did you see Michael Jordan done? I've never really seen somebody float through the air like this. Oh,
Right.
I've never seen a dude go underneath the rim.
He was Air
he was
Jordan.
that. Now we see Zion Williams. I've never seen, a 600-pound man jump like that. I've never seen a D lineman do that.
So
Do that.
that's a big boy. But okay. Next thing. Is he gonna meet the hype?
Yeah.
I'm like a glass half empty. Speaking of, maybe I should pour up a little more. I'm a glass half empty kind of on that. I'm a wait and see kind of person on Zion.
Why do you think that?
I don't think he has a defined role
Okay.
as far as kind of what the league is going to. Hopefully the coaches can kind of put something together for him and see how he would fit in that structure. And I mean, maybe it's a miss. Maybe you should have signed with Big Baller Brand because now that Lonzo's down there.
Okay.
No.
Lonzo had
So,
Lonzo hadn't finished this.
on that note, I was gonna say like, what position would Zion play like with Lonzo down there? Who else is saying? Brandon Ingram, and who was the third one they sent down there? Because it wasn't
Josh
Kuz-
Hart.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's not gonna play.
Exactly.
Drew Holiday will probably be that
What
one.
you say his name is? Josh Hart wasn't. We don't know who that is.
Yeah. But yeah, where do you think like Zion kind of fits like within those assets that are coming to the team?
I think Zion is probably a 4 or 5. I think the NBA game is a little smaller. I think the questions about Zion to me are I don't have any questions about Zion.
So you think instant rookie of the year coming
Yeah.
out?
Yeah.
barring
So I don't
injury, you
think
never can control.
So
injury,
to me,
but-
Zion Williamson is not only a freak athlete, but he is a basketball player. He makes basketball plays, right? And I think what's the question about him is that we've never seen a basketball player look like that. So when I saw him at Summer League and I saw him run out on the court, I was like, damn, he is big. Like, no, for real, like he's big. Like I've seen him on
no
TV.
homo. But yeah,
Right.
Oh my.
Right. No, but that's a big old boy. Like
no, for sure.
I thought it was Julius Peppers running out. Or BJ Raji. Right. And but he's the fastest on the court,
And he was out of shape too.
Oh.
strongest on the court.
Strongest on, like when he just took
Jumps
the
the
rock.
highest on
He
the
took the
court.
rock from the cat.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about
Knox.
that.
That was
Ooh,
disrespectful.
God. And then Knox was laying on the ground, his hands up, like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you
What,
just
we playing
got
football
played.
here?
Right? Like you just got played on that one.
Yeah, I think Derrick Rose won an MVP, the youngest MVP to ever do it. And he was nothing but an athlete. So why can't Zion Williams? Russell Westbrook is nothing but an athlete. And gets a triple-double every year.
Yeah, but he plays isolation balls. Zion can't play isolation ball.
Why? Who's going to stay in front of Zion? The court is open up. Are you going to take a charge from Zion?
I am not taking a charge on Zion.
And nobody else is.
See
in
the way
NBA.
my insurance
Like
works,
a Mack
man.
truck. Yeah.
I
You
can't
gonna stand in
really
front of
take
that
those.
truck?
I think it's going to be fine.
And plus, I'm not trying to be on top plays, ESPN.
Got it.
I'm not trying to be on your Sports Center, not top 10.
If Blake Griffin can come when he started in the NBA, right? And he started his first year, he averaged 22 and 10 rebounds.
But that's Lob City, though. He had some.
He got Lonzo.
Oh.
We just named his squad.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have a deal. Okay.
Got Drew Holiday. That's an all-star. Zion's going to be fine, man.
All right, well, we will. You
No
heard it here
crawfish.
first.
No
Yeah.
crawfish. But
Right.
Oh.
He's on strict diet.
No, say he gonna have a
no
hard time.
etouffee.
Yeah. No beignets.
beignet.
Yeah.
Shut all of that
Yeah, yeah.
down. Strict diet.
But he going to be fine.
All right.
And them Jordans is heavy as shit if you didn't. So they gonna hold his big ass.
Hold his
up.
big ass.
Yeah.
Get his ankles tight.
Okay, but do you have like Giannis just came out with his Greek Freak 1 or whatever they're calling it. So like medium or high expectations for like at least design wise, style wise of Zion's first sneaker.
Oh yeah, let's go to the reigning sneaker expert on this. Let's hear this because.
Well, see, they build sneakers based on player build, right? If you notice, LeBron James' shoes look like Tim's, right?
Right.
Because he's
Come on.
big. Do they not look like Tim's?
They're huge.
They don't.
They're
Look, LeBron's a big man.
So his shoes
He's
are
repping
big.
for the big boys out there, but
So-
stylistically, they've
hold on,
tried to
wait.
work with it.
What have they worked with?
People love that. What
What?
is that? Like that South Beach colorway? I don't know what number it is in the order, but people love
I'm
that
talking
one.
about the shoe construction.
Sir, we're not wearing LeBrons to play in. We just,
So-
You're not wearing LeBron's ever.
So this is what's
and
gonna
no,
happen.
my feet are dragging through the concrete.
So
Like,
Zion's
Facts.
gonna have steel toe.
yeah,
sneakers.
steel toe boots.
Yeah, I'm not getting Zion. I'm not a rotation. I might get a shirt or something.
A shirt.
Yeah, but I'm not getting his shoes. Greek Freak shoes. He made his shoes like Kobe's.
Oh, the
Sleek.
whole
Okay.
layout.
Yeah.
And it was a good move. Him kind of handing out the first of them during summer league. That was a good look.
Yeah, they're cold
Oh,
too.
okay, okay.
Yeah, that
His
was
little brother was wearing some.
So by the way, did you read that article? Remember we talked about him? Did you see it? That they signed his brother?
Yeah.
Yes, the Bucks signed his brother.
The youngest one or
Yeah.
The oldest, the one,
The
that's-
older
one that's playing overseas.
That's a
Yeah.
good look.
They picked his ass up,
But-
but then they were like, "Well, when his other brother comes out,
The other brother's cold. It's
Oh,
like
word?
he has one that's in high school that's 16.
oh wow,
Yeah,
That's just a
he's
beast.
nice. And then there's another one that was with the Mavericks in the summer league, but he just got picked up with the Lakers. 2-way contract.
So yeah, I saw that too.
Well, put on for your family.
No, no, sure.
Everybody's not. Everybody has to be good too. Just not you. Can't be the only one successful.
True.
So when's his contract? They're both playing jockey for like when his contract's up. Like, yo, I got a brother. Like, which brother you want to come to? Because he's leaving at the Bucks after. His
Yeah, the
contract's
Knicks already
up.
got 3 slots lined up for all 3 of them, bro. So
So that's what it's gonna be. Good
All
luck with
three
the
of
Knicks.
the Antetokounmpo
Yeah,
brothers.
all
Okay.
3 of them.
Okay. Is that the hopes? Is that real?
And when people stop, he's not Greek. He's Nigerian,
He's
right?
not.
Thank
he's
you.
not Greek. He's Nigerian, but he grew up in Greece, so
Okay.
he is a Greek
Freak.
Nigerian. Yeah, but shout out to his mom and dad. Appreciate him.
So was he part of your shout out when you did your intro?
Yes,
Okay.
everybody worldwide was a part of that shout out.
We got to get Ebere's team of
I don't-
Nigerians, her roster. So she's
My-
put
my
she's
Olympic
put a
team?
she's put a WNBA team together. All Nigerians.
Oh wow.
Right?
Okay.
But no shooters. Like I
How do
understand
you know they're not shooters?
I understand the roster construction, but you got to get a shooter now. You got to get one shooter.
It's in the bloodline. Don't worry. We'll take
the
care of
shooter-
it. It's fine.
Oh, in the bloodline.
It's
huh?
in the
Oh, there it
bloodline.
is.
No question about it. Nigerians are extremely confident. So,
Yeah,
we're
I-
not worried.
I know
No, we're
that.
not worried.
I've battled in the club.
Battled in what? Battle? What does that mean? Dance battle?
No, they're very confident with women too.
Look, okay, I can't get into that. But as
Oh,
far
no?
as like,
Oh, okay.
excelling, achieving your goals once you set them.
Yeah,
I
that's-
mean,
that's
we're all about that. It's a hard work ethic. The parents instilled that in us.
That's
So
right.
Whatever we do, we have to be number one. There is no number two. So that's
I
why
like
I'm
it.
confident in my roster, even if Miles thinks there are no shooters.
We're going to zone your roster up.
All right. So, last topic before we get a little more in depth with our guests here. Miles, I'll let you take this away, man. Just kind of talking about the flow or the kind of growth of black coaches in football.
Yeah, so NFL training camp is starting around the league this week. And a topic that's kind of been pressing on me is the black coaches, head coaches in NFL right now. Currently, there are 3 black coaches in NFL.
Barely,
Only 3. And one's new blood.
because one
Miami
just got
Dolphins.
fired. It's like it's almost like a flip flop.
Yeah. So we have 3.
So yeah, name them. What's the 3? It's
Brian Flores. He's the new guy with the Miami
with
Dolphins.
Miami. Yeah,
Okay.
Mike Tomlin with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
go Steelers.
What's my guy's name?
the Chargers.
With the what are the, with the LA Chargers? You gotta pause before you say it.
Yeah.
LA Chargers.
Anthony Lynn with the LA Chargers.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 remaining black coaches. And my concern is this. Okay. So as we know, everybody loves a quarterback. They're the most important person in the franchise for whatever reason.
Leader of the team.
Okay. For whatever reason. The way it's systematically set up is there are not a lot of black offensive coaches. Right? So what I'm saying that
like offensive coordinators.
Correct.
Okay.
So since the quarterback is the most important piece of the franchise, your head coach doesn't necessarily have to cater to the coach, but they have to have a relationship with the quarterback.
Or just kind of that's the trend right now, right? Like
right.
Your newer coaches.
So Sean McVay has set this trend on a different level. He's a young guy. He's got a great relationship with Jared Goff.
Your boy with the 49ers.
Boy with the 49ers. Shanahan.
He's an offensive guru. Like, that's what they're.
My guy with the Arizona Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury. He's an offensive guru. So they're young, nice. What's my guy from, what's that movie? Ryan Gosling. They the nice Ryan Gosling look guy. Right? So if you look like Ryan Gosling, are you friends with Sean McVay, you're up for a head coaching job.
So you're just saying that pipeline or that
it's slim to none, and I'm worried that it's a little systematic. Okay, so Brian Flores, and I pray for my bro. He's a defensive guy, so I hope it all works out in Miami. I need him in there. He's a defensive guy. Mike Tomlin, we already know that he's on a hot seat this year.
Oh, yeah.
If Pittsburgh doesn't do their thing. And then Anthony Lynn's an offensive guy, but, they don't really give him offensive credit for what's going on with the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my question to you guys, how do you feel about it? Did you guys see the trend? Or do you think I'm jumping the gun a little bit? What do you guys think?
No, I think that's a great perspective, right? Because you're seeing that, and it's going to be a strong offensively led. We want points. We want the game to be excited. And for a long time, the game has always been defensively minded, right? Defense wins championships. And then you have the people. It still does.
Right.
But it doesn't sell tickets.
Correct.
And
it's
so,
a business.
So when you're looking at that business aspect, a lot of people are like, who's the young, hot, the new up-and-coming guy that relates to these quarterbacks, right?
Okay.
Like, I want a quarterback whisperer now is basically what they're getting into.
Right.
So it's definitely scary. And then how do you get to, even in business, how do you get into that circle? Because now you talk about those two we first talked about, that's a lineage, right?
Yeah.
The Shanahans are a lineage of coaches. And then you talk about the McVays are a lineage. And even they have relationships with the Grudens, right? So
got it. Okay.
Who's bringing someone in to kind of foster and develop and grow? So, yeah, I think it's definitely a concern.
What kind of hit the black coaches kind of fraternity is when Tony Dungy stepped away. Because if you remember, Tony Dungy brought a bunch of people with him.
Okay.
Right? Mike Tomlin was under the Tony Dungy thing. Even Herm Edwards was under Tony Dungy's tree. I think just for the black head coaches now, it's very important that you bring somebody else with you. Mike Tomlin, he hasn't had a black offense or defensive coordinator since he's been with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And what do you think that's about?
That could be about something over his head.
Okay.
I'm not. The Rooneys have been great.
Sure.
But that could very well be something
really
about.
Good. They gave us the Rooney Rule.
Yeah. Whatever that is. Right.
Which is sometimes
but
used.
It's important.
It's important.
So Reggie McKenzie is a guy, and this is another point about it.
Yeah.
You got to have more in that decision making
pool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's your guy Ozzie? Is he even involved with the Ravens anymore?
Ozzie's done.
He's been done, right? So those are those figure names that are super heavily respected,
right?
That had that voice and that could reach down and say, "Hey, this is what I'm gonna bring you up."
Yeah.
Kind of like to further your thing, right? Like I did a quick look, and over the 128 college or the FBS, there's only 13.
Ooh.
13
black coaches out of 128 college.
Yeah.
There's only 13 black. So even if you talk in that system where they release a head coach, like they ran a full operation, of course, I'm not comparing college to the pros.
Sure.
But when you look at the disparity of how many, kind of going back to your point, where do you get the funnel from? Like,
Yeah,
where,
that's where they're
how,
coming
how do you,
from.
how,
Yeah.
how do you refill or how do you tune up?
Yeah.
To me, it's really scary. I mean, David Shaw from Stanford, he's the offensive guy, and he's probably a guy that would be a good look in the NFL. He's been a rumor to a lot of NFL jobs, but
Okay.
David Shaw has a good job at Stanford.
Yeah, he's smart.
not
He's
gonna-
like, I'm not going. Like,
why am I gonna do
please.
that?
Like, I'm good. I'm Stanford.
So,
I need to. As long as I keep, getting to the conference and getting these wins, like,
We're good.
I'm good.
We're good.
To where, to being able to, and like you said, there's unknown currents that we don't understand. That just because you're head coach of an organization doesn't mean that you can fully pick your whole squad of who you're running with, who you can keep, all of those things.
For sure.
So, I mean, the NFL has looked at it, and I know we briefly talked about the CBA. Like, what is the protection for, like, the league as far as coaches? I mean, other than the Rooney Rule, like, what are they doing to develop? Like, have you heard anything? Because I haven't heard anything.
So here's the thing about the Rooney Rule. The Rooney Rule requires presidents or general managers, whoever's making the head coach hire, to interview a minority coach. It's required, at least one.
Right.
In your interview process. The thing about it is this. The minority coach, they can't make a mockery of the Rooney Rule. And when I say that, I say if it's rumored to have somebody's going to have a job there, right?
Right.
Say a GM wants a particular head coach, and that's, news gets out pretty quickly nowadays. If you are that minority coach, you don't sign up for that interview. Because it makes a mockery of the rule.
Because it's just a checklist.
I'm checking a box. You don't ever want to check a box.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You don't do
the one
that.
you want.
You don't do that, right? And then into the black fraternity or the minority fraternity, I think they would lose respect for you because that makes a mockery of the rule, right? You playing a game that you shouldn't be playing. Mm-hmm. So not that I can give advice to anybody that's interviewing for a head coaching job, but that's my thing about the Rooney Rule.
Nice. So what you're saying, there's no hope?
There's hope. There's hope. I think there's a lot of, here in Las Vegas, we have, 10 or 20 high school coaches that probably have aspirations to keep coaching in the next level that are offensive guys. I would think if you're a young coach and you're aspiring to coach football,
right?
Coach the quarterbacks. I know that everybody's going to want to put you with a DB coach because that's where all the young
receiver.
Receiver.
Running backs.
That's because of where the young black athletes are, and you relate to them. That's the word they use, right? Nah, you're a football coach. Or if you want to coach offense, go coach offense. Go coach the quarterback. Relate to him.
Because what I noticed this past season is with a few of these coaches, I think it was a coach in Denver. How many years was he there?
3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was even kind of thinking about what is their – how many years are they given like an opportunity to really work through the challenges of coaching a team? And so it's like,
Vance Joseph.
Yes, Vance Joseph. So it's like, how long was he really given to kind of like turn it around? And does race influence that?
I think Vance Joseph got a raw deal. Vance Joseph never had a quarterback. We all know that. We just talked about how this quarterback is important.
Yeah.
The most important piece of the franchise. And he never had one. So you putting him in a real tough situation. And then my guy from Arizona, I can't remember his name. He was a black coach. He literally had 16 games.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
we've seen enough.
You out of here.
Yeah. And then he didn't have a quarterback. So I'm praying for y'all, man. There's hope. I'm praying for us.
So, so I guess what I'm gathering from this is that really the key currently is to really push to be offensive minded.
I think so.
Whether it's OC, whether it's quarterback coach.
I think.
But I was bringing up the Miles is kind of like, I'm thinking again of when the Rams faced the Patriots last season, and
they mopped
Belichick spanked them.
Like
you coming to your daddy for a whooping, like you messed up.
He puts that down.
That's true.
So defense still wins. I mean, you're right, Ebere. I think. I think defensive head coaches still have a place in this league. The trend right now is an offensive guy.
Sure,
just because, like EJ was saying, the business acumen behind that. It sells tickets. It's a sexy thing. Everybody likes to see 28 points on the board. They like to see the cheerleaders dancing. Like to see the fireworks going off. But more importantly, head coaching is a relationship build. And I think the guys that are in that position build relationships with everybody on the roster.
Got it.
So the NFL even posted, so I guess they had a summit. It was a quarterback coaching summit that spotlights minority coaching.
That's fantastic.
So I think you're spot on. Like I said, from what I got, is that's the way for them to kind of make a move into getting into that. So I definitely will probably post this article on our social media.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of definitely read that.
My guy Raheem Morris. So Raheem Morris was a head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and going back to Tony Dungy, he was under the Tony Dungy tree, which was kind of under Mike Tomlin. He was a young guy. He was a cone boy. So he made his way up. He was a defensive coordinator, I think, for the Redskins for a little bit, and then he got a head coaching job.
Okay.
With Tampa Bay. That didn't go great. He was a young guy, I think, in 36 when he had the head coaching job. It didn't go great, but then he got phased out. So the thing is, like,
how long was it? Short-term phase out or just a couple years?
2 years.
2, 3, okay.
When the black head coach gets phased out, it's kind of hard for them to come up, right? Especially a defensive coach. So what Raheem Morris has done is now he's a receiver coach for the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
So he's working his way back up the offensive way, because you start building that relationship with the quarterback, you're in there. So my guy Raheem Morris, that's a name to look out for.
Raheem Morris. You heard it here first.
All right.
Oh, by the way, I did do my homework. A lot of sleepless nights of
Did you do it?
Of Last Chance You.
Last Chance You.
Yes. And now that we think about it, if you look at, there are no minorities on the offensive side of anything.
Wow.
On the show?
On the show. Head coach, because he does call the plays, but head coach, the quarterback coach, the running backs coach.
Yeah.
Only one that was black was the receiver coach.
And he was like a little.
And he was like a little like
kid.
disrespectful. He was like, oh yeah.
It was like, wait.
Yeah, just
okay.
here you
So
have it.
This is kind of where I don't really like to, throw it out there too much, but this is where like Berkeley comes into play, and it's like, okay, so what about specifically? What specifically about? Is it like a body build thing? Like, what is it about? Like, receivers specifically, or DB specifically that, coaches are being told, okay, well, you would relate to them more, you would identify with them more, like besides just race. Like, is there something like a caveat to it that has to do with like body build or?
Yeah, I think
like they're bigger, stronger, faster.
That's a good
some
point.
Of those stereotypes.
I think you want to look the part as a head coach. As a coach, and a lot of guys are young and active and still athletic that our coaches are getting into that thing, so they naturally probably built like a receiver or a DB. But I think it's all relationships. I think coaching is relationships, and the DBs and the receivers more than times than not are black.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So they're like, we need somebody to recruit these guys.
Yeah.
Okay. They when they see this coaching staff, they got to have somebody to relate to. Mm-hmm. And the majority of those guys that they need to relate to play in the secondary, play receiver.
Got it.
So you're like, okay, I need somebody to relate to them, somebody they can relate to. It's not the quarterback coach for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. It's not the offensive line guy, because offensive linemen are deemed smart, you know what I mean? So there's not a whole lot of black offensive line coaches.
Oh, okay.
So, there's black running back coaches, but, running back is a position that's kind of built off field and natural ability almost, right? To me, this is just my opinion. I just think that it's a relationship thing, and those skills where you need relationship builds, there's a lot of black coaches that can relate to them in those positions. Because if and this is no disrespect, but I played DB in the past, but if I saw a 401k white dude, with Dick Vitale hair and Monarch shoes on, I'm like, have you ever played this position? No, I'm not listening to you anyway.
Like the coaches in that video you showed me a couple of days ago.
Facts.
Like, I am not playing for them.
Youth football's in trouble.
Youth football. Youth football is.
I'll show you that video.
Oh, you gotta see this video. We'll put that up too.
Jesus.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. Without further ado, we definitely want to now shine some light on our sister here, Auntie Barry here. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna let her go off and help lead you all and kind of give a little bit of a background of what's going on. But you know, first we got to welcome her with the question, Miles. So go ahead and hit her with the question, man. The first question.
So Barry,
Yes, sir.
we asked all of our guests your first well damn coach moment, and I'm gonna describe mine.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So it's well damn, coach.
Well damn
Okay.
coach. That's the question. So my sophomore year in high school, sophomore or junior, I can't remember. We were number 2 in the state, and we were playing the number 1 team in the state. Okay, I'm in warm ups. I'm getting hyped. Hey, let's go. We got them. Like, let's go. Let's get this. Let's get this. We in warm up. We high fiving, whatever. Coach is coming down the stretch lines, high fiving. Mm-hmm. So coach comes up to me and he says, "Coach Mills, I'll never forget this. His name's Coach Mills. Coach Mills comes up to me and says, "Hey, Hayes, you ready to go?" I said, "Yeah, Coach, I'm ready.
Yeah, hype.
I'm hyped. I'm ready to go."
Right.
Who do you? He asked me. Coach Mills says, "Who do you think the weakest link on the team is?"
No.
So let me back up. So on the other side, I had, I played right corner. On the left corner, there was an All-American guy.
Okay.
He was going to Oregon. And then behind me was like an All-State guy. They were both seniors. Mm-hmm. I was like a junior or sophomore or something. I can't remember. But I was the little guy on the other end, like 145 pounds. I get his point. I am that other guy.
You are the weakest link.
But to say before the game, like, oh, Coach, who do you think the weakest link is on our defense? I'm like, well, damn, Coach, is that me?
Yeah.
I guess I'm fired up for the game. So that's my well, damn, Coach moment.
So give us, and it could be professional,
Yeah.
it could be college, anytime, but just give us a well, damn, coach.
I don't know if my story is gonna be as good, but since you told a bit of was that a high school or a college story?
This is high school.
Okay, so a little bit of high school story for myself. Again, these are hoop dreams that have gone and died in the graveyard or whatever. But when I used to play and ball in high school, I'm completely putting myself on blast. But he wasn't even like a real coach. He wasn't the head coach. He wasn't the assistant coach, but he was just somebody from like the local rec center that probably had old hoop dreams himself. That
You just well damn him, man.
Well, hell yeah. Well, damn.
Right? Well, damn, coach. Damn, Barry. Damn, you just killed him.
Well, I'm blanking on his name, but shout out to him. But I'm blanking on his name. But he had some feedback to me with my shot, and I think that's always one thing like you really have to be confident in and assured in. And his feedback to me was that it was a little flat. And so he gave me some sort of like analogy or proverb, parable. I don't even know what he was really going into. He's like, can you envision like a rainbow? And he's like, on a bright sunny day, it's just shooting up high in the sky and then coming down so perfectly. And he was like, well, your shot is just not exactly that rainbow. I'm like, damn. Oh, okay.
Yo.
All right, well, I'll work on that. Thank you.
I mean, he gave you the whole visualization, gold at the end of the rainbow, and then he said,
your shot is opposite.
I'm not hitting it. Yeah, I'm not hitting it at all. So
hit you with the womp womp.
yeah, I'm a visual learner, and he hit that visual right on point. So I was like, all right, cool.
So since you started off there, just kind of give us a little bit of background. Tell us, as far back as you want to go. Just kind of give us a little Reader's Digest about who you are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess starting from the beginning, like I said, kind of, born and raised in Oakland, California, to, in a Nigerian household. So those who understand, those who know. That's what I'll say.
Okay.
We're kind of Nigerian in the home and Oakland in the streets and everywhere and everywhere else. No, we were good kids. The way I used to put it to my parents, I'm not as bad as everybody else. That's what I would try to let them know. I'm not, I'm really doing my best here. It could be much worse. But now, living out here in Vegas, doing community work, doing nonprofit work, for a for-profit company. And we're really grinding. We're really gearing up for the year. We're pretty much at our height right now. But yeah, just been out here in Vegas trying to just learn as much as I can. I'm not exactly a mover and a shaker just yet, but getting my feet wet and just trying to learn a little bit more about the community, get more involved, see where we can be, helpful, a lending hand, create opportunities for those in the community when we have a large platform behind us, a large brand behind us, but really do what we can to shine a light on those who are doing really good work but may not have as much attention.
Awesome. So new to Vegas. How long you been in Vegas now?
Year and a half? Yeah.
So what are some
boy.
Yeah.
You about
100%.
What's the question?
Because that's what this is about. You know what I'm saying? We're giving it from a Vegas stand of view, right? Vegas stand up. So what are some of the just like weird things that you're just like, what is going on here? Oh, you got a lot of them. All right, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Weird things.
Or just things it's just like, because Oakland, of course.
I think it's a lot of like
here.
what you would call like petty peeves. Like it's just like really like small stuff. So it's like, oh, like people don't have to, like people don't signal like number one when they're driving, or like they slow all the way down like before they make a right turn. So you could hurry up and go if you want, or like the lack of like greenery is a really big thing to me, of actually like real green trees and like natural water.
Not the other trees, because it's legal here. You're talking about like vegetation, right? Because you said green and then you follow with trees, and I'm like,
like an evergreen tree,
okay. Mom, she's not as bad as the other ones.
No, don't put that out there. No, not at all. Just things like that to get used to. I really don't try to.
That desert landscape is just something. To get used to.
but again, like the mountains are beautiful here. But again, you're saying like weird things. We were talking about that a little bit earlier today, like the lack of like animal life. I don't know. I think I'm a little bit of a fake outdoorsy kind of person. So like I like seeing animals from afar, but not really like messing with them up close. I don't want them to really come up to me and like mess with me. But I want to see you from afar flourishing in your environment. But like don't come and talk to me.
Flourishing. I love that. Okay.
And then I guess it's to me this is very suburban in comparison to where I lived before. This is not. You would have to drive a good like 20 minutes or so to kind of get to a similar area like this in the Bay Area. So. I wouldn't really say it's too weird. It's just it's suburban. It's a little bit more subtle.
Okay,
I'm gonna put it that way.
There you go.
So Barry's being really humble right now. Okay, she's well on her way to have the elementary school.
Yeah,
named after.
I'm that's one of my main goals here in Vegas. I just want to put that out there to the interwebs. I'm trying to be on my best behavior and do what I can to get a school named after me. If you know anybody, please, reach out to me and let me know. Thank you.
So, as a young black woman in this industry, what are some things that you've learned on your way, on your upgrowth? You've had a pretty fast uptick in your career and profession. So, what are things that you've learned? I think it's been pretty fast.
You know how people, rappers try to say, like, I got it from the mud. I started out in the mud. Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, nah, I started with the steamer. Yeah. Like, I was steaming backdrops. Yeah. Like, I was folding tablecloths. Like, no, I was wiping off chairs. So definitely, I think. Sorry, say it again. I got distracted with my mixtape.
No. What are some things that you've learned growing up in this?
I would definitely say being a bulldog, and advocating for yourself is very important. People are going to underestimate you. People are going to second guess you, and when you say that you are confident and sure in whatever you're saying and what you're doing, you better 100% be, because if you are that 1% not correct and things go wrong, I think you're going to be questioned for a long time. I think you're going to be doubted for a long time. Doing your research is very important in the sports industry, especially as a woman. And again, people are going to say you don't really know what you're talking about, or you're working off of feeling or emotions, or you don't really know the details of the story, or you don't know the statistics, you don't know the hard-hitting facts. And so I think if you don't know those statistics or those hard-hitting facts, that's okay, but do your research and get involved as much as you can, get in depth as much as you can. And if you don't know, if you have that safe space or that safe person to ask, go ahead and ask them so that you can learn more. Everybody's growing, everybody's learning, but those are some things that I've encountered in growing and being questioned about. But I think experience counts for a lot. And that's male or female, but definitely experience and real world experience counts for a lot. The degrees are important, but at the end of the day, we want to see what you can show and prove. And I think there's a different caveat to being a minority, and to being female, and to being from, first generation, and being from a low income background. Those are all things that really motivate me and push me forward to you making a face. I'm gonna
somebody's
pause.
getting,
I'll let you go
getting
in.
called out. Like, do you got something?
Did I hit a buzzword?
No, you didn't hit a buzzword. We talked about this about the low income.
Okay. What about that?
About you specifically, low income.
Man. Look, again, like, no, around the world, levels of income equality are different.
Hold on, she started with around the world, and when I'm talking about hold on, man, come on.
Because Miles is tripping. I'm not gonna give
to the young black youth.
I'm not gonna give any discredit to myself, but the handful of times that I have been able to travel abroad, specifically to my parents' homeland and my home.
Abroad means. Can't use that in a sentence.
I thought he was talking about yo, Miles, man. Remember last night the broad?
Facts.
The broad was tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Getting on a plane and going somewhere, basically. Entering an aircraft and going somewhere. So again, as a child, funneled by my parents. It's called dual citizenship. Yes, I am a Nigerian American. Yes, so we have stamps in the passport. I would love more, but
she got her own money.
Yes, through the dual citizenship thing.
And when I say she got her own money,
money.
Y'all taking this way out of context. My parents worked very hard. There's 5 kids in the family. And so to be able to really, budget and save, to be able to take us to their homeland, our homeland, meeting friends and family up close. But again, what I'm getting to is more so seeing people who are younger than me, really, really hustling. And I know that there's a image or model of hustling in the black community. And there's a lot of respect to that. There's a lot of things we need to do institutionally in the government to really improve our status of living. But, out there in, which somebody may call a third world country or something, like, the hustle is unmatched. Mm-hmm. The entrepreneurship, everybody thinks they're an entrepreneur. The entrepreneurship is unmatched. The ingenuity is unmatched. Right. People make a living off of anything and everything they can, man, woman, child, all throughout the age ranges. So that translates when they come to the U.S. 100. And so my parents keep that same focus, that same work ethic, that same grind. And so that afforded them to some things. And I'm not going to put them on blast. Like, some of those things panned out. Some of those things didn't pan out. I'm just saying, we've learned those lessons. So yeah, when I'm speaking of income, again, I'm just a kid from Oakland. So
yo, Barry, I'm just going to say,
I know what I know.
Can your boy hold something? I'm just.
We can split this pack of Skittles I got in my bag. Like, we can go half on the wild berry Skittles. Like, maybe.
All right. So another one for you. Just as far as your work experience, you can use current job or just kind of as you going through your career. Okay. What are some of the best things that you've had about going through your career in sports, and then what are some of the worst? And if you don't want to do worse, like challenges.
Okay.
So best and worst as far as your sports career, and it could be now or just kind of like growing up through it.
Best things, I think I have been in a very specific situation where I've been very fortunate to be surrounded around a lot of like female leadership in particular, and I consistently being challenged every single day with new different programs or new different projects, and have steadily been given an opportunity, to move up and excel and handle and more responsibility as the years have engaged. So those are definitely bright spots. Also, again, it's not for the lighthearted. It's not for the faint. We work hard, especially people may think, if you work in, again, it's nonprofit, but for a for-profit business. So people may think if you work in a philanthropic landscape, it's a lot of like sunshine and rainbows and everything's all good and you get to do this and that. And it's like, no, we really work hard. And you're expected to be that best of the best.
To produce.
Exactly. To produce with no excuses. Why didn't you hit,
Right. This is the mark.
Yeah.
You either hit it or you missed it.
Yeah. And if you missed it, why and what do you need to do to rebound and get better. But I think it's more so, again, the people that we are trying to create those opportunities for, the people that we are attempting to help sounds so bad, but the people that we're trying to uplift, the people that we're trying to empower, seeing the smiles on their faces. It's not necessarily about a thank you or a pat on the back, but really looking at how you can have measurable impact in their life. That's what helps all the other pieces of the grind make you feel much better. So those are definitely being the high points, just consistently being challenged, being around great women leadership in the office building, and again, having that reminder of this is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Okay,
you know?
Barry love the kids. That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, let's get that school name. I mean, we need to start
You know,
looking.
On
Right?
our way,
Let's
man.
go.
You know, I'm trying. It's ARUM. That's the name of the school. Arum's, elementary, middle, high school, whichever one you want to go with, I'm okay with. But as far as worst moments, I think also as well the organization that I'm a part of, hard work doesn't go unnoticed. But if you are not working hard, that definitely goes noticed. So there are definitely, and even right now in a little bit more of like I'll just say at a basic level as like a supervisor role, there's nothing that I'm asking my staff to do that I haven't done.
Right.
My first shift was literally, hey, we need you to, I'm like maybe 5'3" on a good day. And here's this 10-foot photo backdrop. We need you to lay this thing out, put it on its, little set up, right? And steam it. And it was like, I can barely reach the top, but okay, I'm gonna get it done. It's gonna be pristine. It's gonna look fantastic.
Just got a $10 word, pristine. I love that.
Telling you. On her way.
On her way.
Thank
Next Lenny Bruce.
you. What?
That boy good.
Oh man.
So yeah, there's definitely those moments that are a little bit less than favorable, but it's character building. I'll just put it that way.
For sure. I think the question I have for you is kind of what would you advice you would give younger Barry? I think
What?
because I think for me, I think back in college when I was going to class and all I cared about was football. Like I just do what you got to do so you can be eligible to play.
Facts.
But I would tell young Miles, hey, dude, wake up. You in college. Take advantage of your opportunity right now. You don't have to pay for anything. Learn something. Actually learn something. Don't just try to get through and get the, check the box and actually learn something. So for younger Barry, what would you give?
I would tell younger Barry, don't be such a recluse. Don't be so to yourself or to your friends. Like really network, really get out there, really get to know people. I am a firm believer. It is a little bit more. I've learned the hard way, being unemployed for several months. I have a good gig now that I'm very thankful and grateful for, but I've been employed for almost a year. And so I've learned that people power is most important. Right. And so I would definitely encourage a younger Barry to get out there, push past your comfort zone, introduce yourself to people, get to know them, reach out to people you don't even know, because you never know who may be that one that is full enough in their own life and in their own career to be able to, reach back and help you out. So I would definitely say networking is most important.
I think you hit something big on that when you said comfort zone. Mm-hmm. I think we as people, and I think it's just everybody, not just our society or our culture, I think we have to, be comfortable being uncomfortable sometimes,
right?
Because that's only going to make you grow as a person. I think you hit the nail right on the head there.
Yeah, absolutely is what I would give to younger Barry.
Shout out to younger Barry.
Yeah.
So, are you a true football fan, or what's your sports team? Ooh. Like, what's like the sport that you follow, and what are you like the fan of? Which
basketball. That's
number one.
We have a basketball hoop in my backyard. Okay. So I remember when my parents put it up for my brothers.
So
and then that kind of transitioned into me.
So you had a basketball hoop in the rainbow. Just
there was not.
From the guy
it was not. You gotta. It wasn't a basketball court. This wasn't full length. This is just a hoop and a makeshift. My mom got her garden on the side, and then whatever. Don't let that ball hit them tomatoes. Ooh, you in trouble. I'm trying to hold up the plant. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna get it so much.
Hustling.
Don't let you gonna get that rebound, because if it hits those plants, you in trouble. Yeah, so it wasn't basketball is definitely like my first love. For sure.
Who's your team?
So you can't ask me about like teams. I mean, the right thing to say.
Oh, here we go.
The right.
That's not what we do here on Black and
Sports. I don't roll with teams. I roll with players that I like.
Give me your players.
That's a good answer.
What the
Yeah, let's go back to that.
Is this the all Nigerian team we about to get?
Yeah, let's go back to your lineup. Let me turn all the way around.
I don't know the all Nigerian team. I don't actually know who you think is in that all Nigerian team because I'm not quite sure.
All right, let's go NBA.
Yeah, so your players, your top players.
Your top players. Let's get top 5.
Dead or
Top
alive.
5?
Dead
Top
or alive.
5.
What?
Top 5 NBA.
Of all time or currently playing? We have to go with currently playing.
Go currently.
We can't go.
Okay, go currently.
Oh, God. Okay.
Go with who you can name 5.
Yeah, I was like, please, no, not all time. Okay, so Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook. I'm going to name all guards.
100%.
So for the all guard team starting.
The all guard team. Definitely go with Giannis. Oh boy. Oh, I don't know why, but after the season, I really fall in love with Kawhi Leonard, and I'll go Paul George as well. I didn't name not one big man, but
So that's your top 5 of who you like as far as following their career and
100%.
watching them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a lot of other people I just skipped out on. Like I really love Donovan Mitchell. Again, I'm going to keep on naming guards.
Who's your boy from the Celtics you like? What were we just talking about?
No, there's
That's a joke.
no.
That's all a joke.
Yeah,
joke.
no. The only time I used to pay attention to the Celtics is when Leon Poe played, and again he went to Oakland Technical High School. That's just
Did
also
he?
Oakland Tech. So
I didn't know he
yeah,
went to Oakland Tech.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
yeah. So that's probably like the last time I
hated
really
his
cared
game
what was
and
going
his
on there.
haircut.
Oh my God,
And the
leave him
haircut.
alone. He's moved on, living his best life.
What do you know what he does now?
Sir, no, I don't know what he does now.
I didn't see him. I legit haven't. That's a name.
Yeah, no.
That's impressive.
No, but Kyrie was sitting. How did I forget Kyrie?
I was waiting for you to say that.
Oh, well,
Who you bumming out? Pause.
'cause you know
Go ahead,
he-
move him out. Put Kyrie in there.
Okay, yeah, that's more
PG out.
stable. How did I forget Kyrie?
I don't know.
dumb.
I'm surprised.
That's not good.
The all guard team. I can't believe
Oh God,
I can't believe he didn't make the cut. You know what I mean?
he did make the cut. I'm slipping. He
Okay.
did make the cut.
All right. Should we even go into college or we just gonna leave that alone?
Please leave that alone.
All right.
The only one I'm paying attention to is
Berkeley
the-
got like athletes.
Shout out to
football and
Berkeley
basketball.
again.
I mean, they always do a
always
great.
putting somebody out.
They always do a great job. It's not very hard to see what I'm about and what I'm passionate about, what I'm focused on, but they do a great job with local recruitment in the Bay Area. So I'm always excited and honestly more interested in the players that are from the East Bay.
That's dope. If it
Can I
wasn't
name one of them right now? No, sir. But I'm just
Leon
being
Poe is a
honest.
name. That
But
was,
that's a name from like 2003, 4.
that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
That's a hell of a name.
they've had where's
I think he was wearing
Jaylen Brown. Okay, so he's
See, I
on
like
the
Jaylen
yeah,
Brown.
yeah,
He's not in your
yeah,
top
yeah.
5.
I like his character. I used to
No, did we just really hit? I like his character. We talking about
because I know I'm more
Hoop
interested.
skills.
I'm more interested in his character. Okay, y'all don't want to talk about character. Y'all want to talk about ball ability.
yeah, that's a whole.
But
in a
this is what I'm
comprise of a
saying.
whole
I take them
player.
as a whole player. I take them as a whole
But you
person.
just
Because
led
some of
with-
them are assholes, and it's like maybe you acting crazy out here.
Well, that's
I
my
don't
guy
want to support you.
that got drafted in the NBA draft recently.
You talking about Ivan Rabb?
No, not from Berkeley.
Oh, okay.
Somebody recently was watching the NBA draft, and you was like, I like him for something that was.
He plays for the
Irrelevant.
Suns.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton.
Was it Aiden or was it?
Well, that was 2 years ago. So Aiden was 2 years ago.
So no, it had to be recently. We all was watching in the office.
We was watching in Office.
Mm-hmm.
She named something that was just irrelevant, like he kissed his mom on the cheek, like
Like he's gonna be great. Hey,
gonna
that's,
be- yeah,
hey, that's
yeah,
MVP
nothing-
right
nothing
there.
to do- yeah.
Hey, just, Kevin Durant shout out his mom, and he was MVP. So that's the linkage right there. That's
My
how
man-
that works.
my man had a to-go plate with foil on the top of it. Barry's like, I like him for his career.
You know, make sure someone eats. You know what I'm saying? He ain't wasting no food.
No. I don't know who you mean. It could
I can't
he
think.
could have said something.
He said it was something that was just like that has nothing to do with
I mean,
anything basketball.
again,
but she was like,
in
yeah,
my
I like him.
in my days of hoop dreams, you definitely want to pay attention to again, like who's putting up those stats, who's going to produce at the end of the day. But life has taken a different turn for me. I've had other priorities, so I can't really follow up with them, how I used to. So I judge off what I see.
Okay.
I unfortunately right now will admit, I'm an average fan. I'm not proud of that. I wish, I'm not proud of that. I wish I was back to where I used to be, really following up on them, but other things have my attention right now. So yeah, so if I see something real quick that they say or that they do, okay, he looks respectful. Oh, okay, he looks humble. Like, oh, okay,
you see that? You see how Auntie just...
So Auntie's
you see that?
Putting
Oh,
it out
okay.
There. Yeah, oh, okay.
That's
so Auntie's letting you know, college players entering the draft, if you want to make the all-guard Ebere team, kiss your moms.
Kiss your mom, have your shirt tucked.
It's about your brand. So let's see what's going on with your brand.
You know what it is.
Well, okay, give it to me. What is it?
So Ebere has a theory on the hairstyles nowadays. So my thing is,
let's go.
My thing is, we talked about this earlier.
Because I hate the Duke. I hate the Duke.
We talking about braids.
Oh, braids, yeah.
What, the breezy braids? Or braids and straight backs in general?
We was talking about Kawhi.
Okay, Kawhi's. Okay.
Kawhi's
somebody is keeping him look. Yes, he looks great. Somebody is keeping him in check. They got his baby hairs up front. Somebody loves Kawhi Leonard. Somebody loves Kawhi Leonard. I'm proud of it.
And I'm with you on Kawhi. I think my thing, you call them the breezy braids. I just call them indecision. I don't like the
formal name.
She gave a name. I don't like the braids and the fade combination. What's your hairstyle that you saying the hairstyle that you don't like?
That I don't like?
Yeah.
This thing they just let him grow.
Look.
Is it natural? You about to get me in trouble. You about to get me in trouble.
The Duke starting 5, isn't that what it's called?
Oh, that's everybody. Whatever that is, just get an edge
Duke
up.
Starting 5, just edge up and just
edge up and go ahead.
What's your boy? He's like in Fridays, like, what's your dad with the spiders?
Yeah.
He's like, what? He cut his hair.
I mean, to each his own. But Miles, we were talking about another conversation, and that's more about preference. So if it's about preference in my personal, we're not going into that.
I'm not going on your personal life. I was just talking about that. We're not gonna go into that, EJ.
Okay.
We're not going into that.
And we about to go off in the deep end. I don't know. I don't know what the hell. I don't know. Yeah, we was about to go off in the deep end on that. All right, so I got another question for you, Barry.
Okay.
So I hear you don't respect nicknames. Like, you know what I'm saying? If a guy wants to be called Muhammad Ali, his name should be called Muhammad Ali. So we were talking earlier, right? And there's some people maybe in the office or that that may have nicknames and want to be called by certain things, or if their name is Aaron and they want to be called Aaron, you know what I'm saying? You got to call them.
Or John Morant, that you won't call John Morant.
Right, because if you...
His name is Demetrius.
Oh, my God, see?
I just want to call him what his mother and father named him. I want to call him by his proper name.
So you saying if his mama call him Clay, you going to call him Clay?
That's a good one.
So listen, all right, so there's some famous, all right, so you wouldn't... Do you respect nicknames? So Kobe's the Black Mamba.
Yeah.
You got David Ortiz.
Big Papi.
Big Papi.
Yeah. I think it's a nickname.
So you respect the nickname.
If you own it and you promote it and are comfortable with people saying it.
So if I tell, hold on, Miles, what's your new name?
Miles. Y'all been saying it wrong the whole time.
Y'all been saying it wrong the whole time. So if my co-host here, Miles, is promoting that, are you gonna respect that?
If Miles says that is it Miles or is it Miles?
I'm not that fancy.
Oh, okay. So
I didn't go abroad. I was just
okay.
No stamps.
Look, it only costs like $85 to get that. But if he shows up
knows
one day,
the price right there off cuff though.
Okay,
because she renews it like every other. You know what I'm saying? What's it? How many stamps? You only get 24 stamps in there? How many?
Look, I work very hard, so I'm just at the office every day. I don't know how many stamps I have. I just try to stay focused on.
All right, but yeah, so you respect the name. Give me that.
If Miles comes in and says it's Miles, then it's Miles. Like, I'll be honest. So again, putting myself a little bit on blast. So it's more internally. But if you knew me from, outside of the home, from birth to 18, they call me Ebere.
Oh, shit.
Bomb job for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Breaking news.
And something amongst me and my sister, my sister calls me Ebere. That's our foolishness of
Ebere.
we are mispronouncing my name. My name is Ebere. So, and again, I own my truth. Where a lot of people, I think in college, didn't really.
Because I butchered it too. Give it to
Ebere.
Yeah, I butchered it. I'm sorry.
We gonna work on it. Ebere Chukwu is the full pronunciation, but Ebere is just, you know, to me that's already a nickname. So, you know, I think you know, when I kind of moved out of that again, I still respond to Ebere. It's all good. These are my friends that I've known. These are my friends I still have. But I think when I transitioned, I was like, oh, I should probably make sure people are like, you know, just really pronouncing my name, bro. I think when you become a little bit more proud of your heritage and proud of where you come from, and it's like, no, I want to make sure people are pronouncing my name. So that you know, you meet people from one half of my life, I'm Ebere. You meet people from another half, I'm Ebere. But it's all the same, all the same girl.
So what's the name of the school gonna be then? The full name?
You know, family's really big to me, so it's just gonna be, you know, Arum Middle School, Arum High School, or, you know, Arum Elementary School, Arum Charter School, whatever. We're going to go with the last name and keep that going.
There it is. So, water or Gatorade?
Gatorade.
You don't mess with water?
Water is a necessity for life, but Gatorade's delicious because it has sugar in it.
Do you know the benefits of drinking water?
I got my show water right here.
Show water. So, right there on this desk, there's a unopened bottle
It is
of water.
opened. Look. The cap is off. I'll take a sip.
So what is that other clear liquor that you've been keeping?
Sprite.
Okay, good.
There you go.
All right. And so in closing, you know, we're going to wrap it up, you know, for this edition. Is there anything you want to share with the people out there? Tell the folks or kind of sign off with?
Ooh, signing off with. I would just say, you know, always strive to be your best self. Be good to people, love others, and God bless.
There it is.
I'm with it.
I love it. Well, hey, I'm EJ.
I'm Elace. Boy Miles.
And this is Black in Sports.